All right, guys who have been following me over the years, watch the channel, listen to the Ringside Reporter podcast. You hear me say this a lot, and I hate to sound redundant, but I'm going to say it once again. The internet is forever, and whatever you do or say on the internet, whether it be on social media, whether it be in an interview on YouTube, whether it be on an interview that you're giving to a website and they're going to publish the article on the internet, what you say can be dug up and it's archived and it can be used against you at any time. It's like evidence. It's like the public opinion. You can be guilty by the public opinion based on the evidence that you put out there on the internet, because it can always be dug up. Like I said, Joe Saunders was one of the biggest critics of Canelo Alvarez when Canelo Alvarez tested positive for clenbuterol, and his fight with Triple G was called off, and he was suspended for 6 months. Joe Saunders said he should have been suspended for life, called him a cheat, called him a disgrace to boxing. All this stuff is documented. It's on YouTube. It's in articles with his quotes there. And I may have paraphrased a few of them, but you guys know what I mean. You've been following along. So now, lo and behold, what happens to Joe Saunders? He tests positive for a performance-enhancing drug that is banned by WADA and is banned by UCAD during competition, or not even during competition, during, I guess, the night of the fight. You're not allowed to have it in your system after the post-fight drug test, and you're allowed to use it in training, I believe, according to UCAD. But WADA and VADA, it's illegal all across the board. You can never have it in your system. And also in the United States, it's illegal, period. It can't even be used in supplements, whether you're in competition or not. But it is in supplements, and it's used with the name methylphenephrine, which technically is oxilofrine. Same thing, but it's just a different name used. So a lot of these supplements are using that label in the ingredients, and they're getting away with it for a little while. But now, I guess the FDA is cracking down on them. But that's neither here nor there. Oxilofrine is very similar to ephedrine and synephrine, because all three of those are bronchodilators. They allegedly speed up the heart rate and open up the bronchial tubes, help with better oxygen utilization. And again, they're used as fat burners. They're used as endurance enhancers. Definitely increase performance. Now, I've used ephedra before. I've used clenbuterol before, and I've used synephrine before. I've never used oxilofrine before, so I can't speak to what that does in terms of the potency. But it's been said by Victor Conte that it's 10 times more potent than clenbuterol. I don't know. I really don't know, because I've never, like I said, never tried it. But I know what the other substances do, and they're all pretty similar. And it depends on the person, how effective each supplement is, or each substance is, I should say. It depends on your body type, depends on just your genetic makeup, depends on your your receptors. Some people say ephedra drives them crazy; they can't do it. It feels like their heart's gonna rip out of their chest. Other people say the same thing about clenbuterol, and some people say they can handle ephedra. Some people say they can handle clenbuterol. I thought clenbuterol was 10 times worse than ephedra, but people were actually taking ephedra and dying from it because they were taking too much of it and they were taking heart attacks. I never had any issues with ephedra. It did speed up my heart rate a little bit, but once your body gets acclimated to the substance and your receptors, are able to absorb it and utilize the substance over time, you build up a tolerance. But that's neither here nor there, man. Big thing here is the hypocrisy, because Canelo Alvarez said he didn't know that he took it. He inadvertently ingested it, possibly from the meat in Mexico. We all know that whole story. Now Billy Joe Saunders is saying that he inadvertently took the supplement, or took the substance, I should say, via a nasal spray. Now I've never seen this listed as an ingredient in any nasal spray, and I'm not saying it's not in there. I've seen it in supplements. I've seen it, prescribed as a medicine. I've heard it's been prescribed as a medicine to help lower blood pressure, because that's why the drug was initially created. But I've never seen it in nasal spray. But here's the thing. You called Canelo Alvarez a cheat, a disgrace to the sport, banned for life. He's using the same exact defense as you're using. Okay? And you hear people like Tony Bellew yesterday, who echoed your sentiments about Canelo Alvarez. In the interview yesterday he did with Kuban Cassius on IFL, called Canelo Alvarez, he called him a drug cheat. Great fighter, but he's still a drug cheat. Okay? Called him a drug cheat. And he said he should be banned for life too. But he said, Billy Joe Saunders, I know him. I know Billy Joe Saunders. And if he said he took it inadvertently, he's not a drug cheat, I believe him. So you see the double standards here, man. You see the double standards here. Everyone was willing to crucify Canelo Alvarez. And I criticize Canelo Alvarez too. I am very skeptical, and I believe that he took it knowingly, in my opinion. Just like I'm highly skeptical of Billy Joe Saunders, and I believe he took this drug knowingly, because this is a guy that walks around at 185, 190 pounds, loses 30 pounds to make 160, enters camp looking heavy, looking, with all due respect, looking fat. He enters camp looking fat. And he's not a big frame guy. He's not like Danny Jacobs. He's not like Jermell Charlo. He's not. And basically, he drops 30 pounds like that. And he fights pretty fast-paced fight where he moves a lot and throws a good amount of punches. So his style utilizes a lot of energy. And he can pretty much go all night. He never really fades in fights. I've never seen him. Once again, oxilofrine definitely helps with stamina, definitely helps with giving you energy during a weight cut, because it enables you to utilize more oxygen more efficiently. It enables you to not require as much calories, because when you're in a cut and you're not getting that energy from the food, if you're taking a stimulant, which is raising your blood, your heart rate, your blood pressure, whatever, it's heating up the body. Your body's able to utilize its fat stores much more efficiently, and you're able to eat less and still have a greater amount of energy while you're taking stimulants, aka fat burners, or whatever you want to call them. So it's not just the fact that you're making weight. These things are acting as appetite suppressants. They're acting as fat loss agents. They're acting as weight loss agents. They're also helping you with your stamina and giving you excessive energy, where normally you wouldn't have that excessive energy throughout the course of a hard training camp, throughout the course of a fight, whatever. And we all know that what you see on fight night is a direct reflection of what happened in training camp for the most part. So if you're having a great training camp and you're training hard and you're able to train hard every day and not get tired, and you're recovering faster and all of that, and you're dropping weight quicker and not having to eat, not having to lose energy from that decrease in calories, then obviously you're getting a boost from whatever that substance is, oxilofrine, clenbuterol, ephedra, anything. All these things are illegal in sports, and ephedra and oxilofrine are illegal completely in the United States. So now you have things like synephrine, you have things like methylsynephrine, all these things that are supposed to be weaker forms of ephedra and oxilofrine or whatever, and they're in supplements now, but they're loaded with caffeine, whatever. Eventually, all this stuff's going to be banned. Like I said before, this water list is over time is going to, increasingly have things added to it. And before you know it, caffeine's probably going to be illegal. It was at one point, so it is what it is. But when you sign that BATA contract, which you did, Billy Joe Saunders, same contract that Canelo Alvarez signed, then you're going to be subject to those rules. And you're going to be subject to that agreement. So this is the greatest form of hypocrisy I've ever seen. And here's another slap in the face to the system. The Massachusetts State Athletic Commission actually called Billy Joe Saunders, tried to work it out with him, wanted to hear his side of the story, gave him a hearing. And you know what he told them? Go fuck off, he said. Told him to go fuck off. I think he said suck my dick too, if I'm not mistaken, but I'll double check that. And then on top of it all, why not provide them with the nasal spray that you were taking? That hasn't been done either. So at least Canelo Alvarez worked with the commission, accepted the punishment, and acted respectfully and accordingly throughout the whole process. Was he angry? Was he upset? Absolutely. Was he critical of Triple G criticizing him? Absolutely. But did he say one negative thing about the Nevada State Athletic Commission? No, because he respected the process. Billy Joe Saunders is giving the middle finger to the Massachusetts Athletic Commission. He's not even allowing them to research it. He's not helping them. He's being totally uncooperative here. Does that sound like an innocent man? If you're innocent, you're going to say, here's everything I took. Here's my nasal spray. You want to talk to me? Sure, let's sit down. Let's work this out. Instead of telling him to go fuck off. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. And now he's actually talking about suing Eddie Hearn and Matchroom. And I believe he was saying he wants to sue the commission too. On what grounds? On what grounds? You'd be tested positive for an illegal substance, and you would sign a contract with WADA that you were going to be tested by VADA, excuse me, not WADA. He signed a contract with VADA that you're going to be tested by VADA. And now you want to now you don't want to uphold your agreement. And Tony Bellew, I'm telling you, man, sitting there listening to him talk yesterday, man. Oh my God. Oh my God. And he's sitting there trying to say, oh, Anthony Joshua is the biggest star in the sport. And Canelo Alvarez is the second biggest star in the sport because one of the questions was about Canelo and Rocky Field, and he's fighting the second biggest star in the sport. And then Coogan called him out on it. Do you realize that Canelo Alvarez has been in record-breaking fights monetarily? The amount of revenue he's generated. It's just the bias over there, just the bias in general of Tony Bellew. And when your bias allows you to not accept reality, that's a problem. Like, I don't like Conor McGregor. I'm not a big fan of his. But he's the biggest star in MMA, not Khabib. He generates the most revenue for the UFC, without question. Does that mean he's the best fighter? No. But because I don't like Conor McGregor, am I going to deny the fact that he's the biggest star in MMA? Biggest star in the UFC? No. So this is the problem. This is the problem when you have bias clouding your judgment and allowing you to make statements that are just factually untrue. Factually untrue. And once again, the internet's forever. So if Tony Bellew, something happens where you come up positive for a substance or whatever, whether you knowingly took it or it was inadvertent or whatever it was, we're always going to have that interview that you put out there saying that you believe Billy Joe Saunders, but Canelo Alvarez is a cheat. He's a drug cheat. And to be quite honest with you, both substances, oxilofrine and clenbuterol, pretty much do the same thing. Pretty much through different pathways and methods in the body, but they are both bronchodilators. They both suppress the appetite. They both increase energy. They both help with oxygen utilization. They both help with having great deal of stamina without requiring as much calories. They both do the same thing. Okay. And once again, the evidence, evidence, the just the benefit that this drug would have for Billy Joe Saunders is immense. It's incredible. It's incredible. The circumstantial evidence, that's the word I was looking for. I don't know why I drew a blank there, but the circumstantial evidence, and they know what the circumstantial evidence is? Billy Joe Saunders is walking around at 190 pounds. And he's actually entering camp fat. And he's ripped on fight night at 160. And he shows no signs of fatigue making such a great weight cut. And then, lo and behold, we find this substance, which is a substance that would be a great aid in helping him achieve that goal. So how coincidental is this? This is the circumstantial evidence that we have to go on. Seeing a guy enter camp so big and really out of shape, guy doesn't have a huge frame. Like I said, he's not a Danny Jacobs. He's not a Charlo. Okay? And he's lean and mean and ripped up on fight night, and he's fighting with the same amount of stamina from rounds 1 through 12, and he's using his legs a lot. He's moving around that ring. He's got a style that is very taxing on the body, that he exerts a lot of energy. He's not a guy that fights in spurts. He's not a guy that stands in the pocket and uses a lot of head and upper shoulder body movement. He's a guy that uses his legs a lot. Now, does he do all that other stuff too to some degree? Yeah, but primarily his defense is his legs. He jumps in and out a lot. He uses an ambush style, which requires a lot of movement. And to be able to fight in that style, you have to have great stamina. And you take the average person out there that's dropping 30 pounds in 8 weeks, and you tell me, are they going to be a bundle of lightning on fight night? Most of them aren't. Most of them aren't. You see guys making those weight cuts, and you hear them at the end of the fights. I was flat tonight. I had to lose too much weight in camp. I got to move up in weight. We've heard a lot of fighters say that. I haven't heard Billy Joe Saunders ever say that, though, have we? Never heard him saying, yeah, the weight. I didn't feel good tonight. For some reason, I hit that wall in the 6th round, and I couldn't get my second. You never heard Billy Joe Saunders say those things, do we? So here's the thing, man. You guys draw your own conclusions. You guys can either agree or disagree with me, but this is the biggest bunch of fucking hypocrisy that I've ever seen in my life. And Billy Joe Saunders did not do himself any favors with the WBO or the Massachusetts State Athletic Commission, because other commissions are going to look at this. I don't know what the BBC is going to do, the British Board of Boxing Control. I don't know what they're going to do over there. I don't know how they're going to receive this, because they're an island unto themselves. They're not part of the ABC over here in the United States. They're not part of. But I know one thing. He may have a problem fighting in the United States, or getting licensed or sanctioned by the United States, or at least he's going to be suspended. Probably all the other commissions in the United States, all the major commissions in the United States, particularly Nevada, New York, and all of them, California, they're gonna follow the Massachusetts State Athletic Commission's lead, and they're gonna probably do a universal ban in the United States for at least a year. And if he ever decides he's going to come and fight in the United States again, or whoever decides they're going to fight him again, if you're the opponent and you're not requesting stringent drug testing, then that's a problem. Because I know if he fights in the United States again, he's probably going to be mandated to use VADA by some of these commissions, possibly. That could be a possibility, or by the promoter, or by his opponent. So there's going to be a cloud following him around, just like Canelo, but even a bigger cloud because of the way he reacted. He didn't even want to provide evidence. He didn't even work with the commission to try and prove his innocence. His response was, I'm going to sue everybody. without providing any evidence to defend themselves, showing the supplement or showing the nasal spray. Fuck that, man. That's bullshit. Hey, what's up, Palatite? We start reading some of this stuff in the chat. Yes, Billy Joe Saunders was stripped. He most certainly was. Do I think Terrence Crawford takes out Jose Benavidez in the first 3? No, I'm going to say he knocks him out in probably 6 or 7. Will it be a long time before we see Billy Joe again? Will be a long time before we see Billy Joe again, so move on. Yeah, we are going to move on, I guess. Saunders and Murata? No, I don't think Saunders and Murata is going to happen. I'm thinking it's going to be Golovkin and Murata next, to be honest. Fact is, Billy Joe Saunders cheated, and he wasn't even professional about it. You know, exactly. Belly was a clown, Larry Merchant says. Wow. Shout out to you, man. It's the first time I've ever heard you criticize one of your fellow UK fighters over there. Great. Props to you for that, man. Yeah, Belly was so adamant about Canelo being a drug cheat, and then when he learns that Saunders failed the test, he doesn't know enough about to make a statement. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The internet is forever, guys, and I will continue to say that. We're looking at people getting their tweets dug up from 5-10 years ago. People losing jobs. People having their lives ruined because they opened their mouths and they put it out there. Not realize, even when you delete emails, that shit you delete. If the FBI wants to dig deep enough, there's products out there that can dig up your deleted emails and shit you said and you wanted to delete. And even videos you deleted, tweets you deleted. People are screenshotting that shit. And this shit is going to follow you around forever. Billy Joe Saunders, Tony Bellew. You know, so it is what it is, man. Fucking the bias is real. And we're all biased, man. We're all biased. But there comes a point where the bias has to stop. The bias has to stop. You know, you're going to go out there and go on this friggin' tangent about friggin' Canelo Alvarez. And then when it hits home, then all of a sudden, oh, not me, not me. And you think that, you know, the WBO stripped him. You think that they're going to rank him again? They're probably going to say, well, we're not going to rank you again until you go on, you know, until you sign for a fight and you are being stringently drug tested. We feel confident that you're a clean athlete again. So now he's in a worse situation than Canelo. He's in a worse situation than Canelo because Canelo accepted his punishment like a man. He didn't agree with it, but he never ever said, "Oh, I'm going to sue the Nevada State Athletic Commission." I mean, he never threatened to sue anybody. He could have went the Manny Pacquiao route, and he could have probably sued if he wanted to. It would have been hard, but he could have sued, you know, Golovkin and Abel Sanchez and all those guys for defamation of character. Okay, but he didn't do that. Took his punishment like a man and he moved on. The way Billy Joe Saunders is going on right now, you know, it's a disgrace. He hasn't been stripped. Andre's fighting for the interim. I have not heard that. I'll pull up a link right now, and I heard that he's stripped, and this is not that Andre is not fighting for the interim. Let's take a look. If I am wrong, I will retract my statement. Why would he be fighting for the interim if he's stripped? Okay, Demetrius Andre. Okay, let's look here. Let's pull up all these stories. And let's see if it's actually the interim or not. It's official. WBO. Walter Kandonwaka will be replacing Billy Joe Saunders on October 20th at the TD Garden, Boston, Mass. It's not decided whether Andre Contagua will be for the vacant WBO middleweight title or not, as the World Boxing Organization needs to decide whether to strip Saunders if his WBO title actually tested positive for the banned enhanced substance Cilia friend during a VADA test on August 30th. On Wednesday, the Massachusetts Athletic Commission denied Saunders, blah, 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 and which made him ineligible to defend his middleweight title. So you may be right here. You may be right. Let's see how. Let's see what BoxRec has. Let's see what BoxRec has. And basically, depending upon his suspension, he gets suspended for 6 months, or if he's even suspended in the UK for this. We'll see. Okay, it says Demetrius Andrade, Walter Konduraka, vacant World Boxing Organization World Middleweight title. So BoxRec is saying that he's been. Let's see if Billy Joe Saunders has been officially stripped. Let's look, because maybe that was an earlier article. Because I'm curious. See if they actually stripped him. See if I can find out 100%. Yep. Billy Joe Saunders set to be stripped. Billy Joe Saunders set to be stripped after, yep. Billy Joe Saunders, yeah, they're saying he's stripped. Here's an article from The Guardian, yeah. Yeah, so he's stripped of this title. He's been stripped. See if I can find some more information. Yeah, so he's stripped. So that article was before before the investigation was done, and now that he's not even allowing them to do an investigation, he told them to go fuck off. So yeah, so I guess he's stripped. He's officially stripped. Yeah, Eddie Hearn just tweeted and Andre retweeted. Yeah, it's for the vacant title. He's stripped. Yeah, so he fucked himself. If he really cared about holding on to his title and getting this fight and not being stripped, he would have at least worked with the commission. Yeah, yeah. It's not interim. Yeah, it's not an interim title. So, but I mean, I don't know, guys. What do you think, man? What do you think? What's gonna happen with Billy Joe Saunders? He's got a tough road ahead of him, and did he just fucking shoot himself in the foot and put his foot in his mouth by talking all that trash? And now look what happens. Now look what happens. What's gonna happen now to Billy Joe Saunders? You know? Does anyone know anything about this guy that Andre's fighting? And I don't know. I never heard of the guy. Does anyone here know what this guy Walter? Let me see if I can. I forgot what his name is already. Yeah, I forgot what his name is already. Let me see what it is. Walter Katangwa. Let me see what his record is. Never heard of this guy. Anyone know who this guy is? Anyone in the chat? 17-0, 16 KOs. All against fellow Africans. Is he a South African fighter, or I don't know. Let me see. Let me see who this guy is. If I can pull him up. Yeah, shout out to he's an African. He's from Nyambi. Nambia. Yeah, he's from Africa. Call him the Execution. He's 33 years old. 17-0 with 16 knockouts. Any recognizable names on the record? No. Guy can punch though, and we've seen yeah. Andre will definitely be the toughest test of his career. Yes, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, guys. It's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting. Dwayne M is saying, "Am I the only person to hit the like button?" Yeah, guys, why don't you hit the like button? Hit the like button. Hit the like button, guys. Help out the channel, man. Give me some inspiration and some motivation to do more videos, guys. Start doing some breakdowns again like I used to on the regular. Give you guys some betting advice. Give you some good prop bets. Help you guys out. Make some money. All right, man. Crawford this weekend. Let's take a look at the boxing schedule this weekend. I know the zone's got fights. Cruiserweight tournament this weekend. I believe Tabiti's fighting. Bellator is going to be on the zone as well. Let's see what the boxing schedule. We know we got Crawford and Benavidez, which shouldn't be any surprises there. But let's hope I'm wrong. I always like to be wrong when it comes to having a fight be more competitive than I anticipated. So let's see what's going on here. Boxing schedule. Boxing schedule. All right. All right. Terrence Crawford. Shakur Stevens is on that card too. Mike Alvarado on that card. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot. There's the bantamweight title too. Zolani Tete, man. My man Zolani Tete is fighting. Andrew Tabiti's fighting. So you got the bantamweight tournament and the cruiserweight tournament on the zone, and you got Terrence Crawford. So it's got a decent week of boxing action. Yeah. Yeah. What do I think of the Vargas Delorme fight? I honestly had that fight a draw, Ryan. I had it a draw. I know a lot of people thought Delorme won. I thought Vargas was going to win the fight clearly, like 9-3, 8-4. Possibly maybe even stop Delorme late, but Delorme looked sharp in that fight, man. He looked sharp in that fight. Once again, even with Vargas, kind of faded down the stretch against Broner. I think he faded a little bit in this fight in the championship rounds, which cost him the fight. Got a little complacent in that last round, and he got caught. Made a mistake. Pulled out straight back with his hands down, and he got caught. So he needs to work on some things, man. He needs to work on some things, definitely, no question. All right, guys. I think that's about it, man. Again, Billy Joe Saunders is coming off as a big-time hypocrite here. And, yeah, man. Let me know what you guys think. Enjoy the weekend of fights, and don't forget to tune in this Sunday. Ringside Reporter Podcast, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Myself, Eric, and Robbie will be on there, recapping the weekend of fights. Call in if you'd like. Join us in the chat. Ask questions. Give us your opinions, your input. All right, till next time. Beaver's out. Talk to y'all soon. Peace. Have a great day.